Good day, everyone. Today's 10 Interesting Facts is on Hugh the Borg from Star Trek The Next Generation and the Picard series. I chose this character today because I like the name, same as mine, but I also thought it was a cool character. So, let's get into it. Number 1. Hugh, formerly Third of Five, was a former Borg drone who was rescued by the USS Enterprise D in 2368. Hugh was found on the Argolis cluster at the crash site of a Borg scout ship. Hugh himself was critically injured and was brought back to the Enterprise D for medical attention by Dr. Beverly Crusher under the protest of Captain Picard. Number 2. Upon arriving on the Enterprise D, Hugh was placed in the brig and kept under guard at all times. He had trouble adapting to his new environment, having been cut off from the resources of the collective for the first time in his life. Where there had been millions of voices in his head, there was now only his own. Dr. Crusher eventually nursed him back to health, and Chief Engineer Geordi LaForge found a way to nourish the drone similar to the regeneration alcoves on a Borg ship. Number 3. As Hugh spent more time with the Enterprise D crew, he learned many things. LaForge taught him that humans did not want to be assimilated into the collective, which contradicted what Hugh had been taught by the collective. LaForge gave Hugh his name, though it was a mispronunciation of the word you, and became Hugh's first ever friend. Guinan, who originally wanted nothing to do with Hugh, taught him that resistance was not futile. Guinan's home world had been destroyed long ago by the Borg, but the fact that Guinan was still alive was proof of her lessons to Hugh. Number 4. Picard eventually confronted Hugh. Hugh immediately recognized Picard as Locutus, and Picard took the role of Locutus while talking to Hugh to simulate the authority that Hugh was used to. However, LaForge, Guinan, Dr. Crusher, and other members of the Enterprise D crew had a profound effect on Hugh. When Picard reminded him that resistance was futile, Hugh replied that resistance was not futile. When Picard told Hugh that LaForge would be assimilated, Hugh stated that LaForge did not wish to be assimilated. When Picard said that that was irrelevant, Hugh specifically said that he, as Hugh used the word I rather than we, his second use of a singular pronoun, would not assist in the assimilation of LaForge. Picard was stunned that a Borg drone would say such things. Picard decided that he could not send Hugh back with the file that would destroy the Borg. He offered Hugh an asylum on board the Enterprise D, but Hugh said that the collective would not stop looking for him until they found him. Hugh agreed to go back to the crash site and to be taken back into the collective to protect the Enterprise D from harm. Number 5. Hugh's newfound sense of individuality proved to be almost as deadly to the collective as any file stored in his memory could be. His experiences on board the Enterprise D were spread to other drones, and eventually Hugh's cube fell into a complete state of disarray. The Borg's sense of shared identity had been disrupted, and they were no longer able to function. The collective disconnected Hugh's ship from the hive mind and left the cube drifting in space until 2370, when it was discovered by Lore, Data's brother. Lore took advantage of the confused drones and assumed leadership of the group. He brought order to chaos and allowed the drones to maintain their individuality, but was able to control them. Lore promised to create Borg crew in his image, running tests on various drones, leaving them with awful injuries. Hugh disapproved of Lore's leadership, finally realizing that Lore had no clue how to keep his promises to the drone crew, and while Lore had acquired a ship and had built a base on a remote planet, Hugh took a group of drones underground and became leader himself. Hugh and the drones loyal to him assisted in the Enterprise D crew in rescuing Picard, LaForge, Troy, and recapturing data from Lore. Number 6. Hugh eventually became an XB, as former Borg drones were called. With most of his implants removed, he also became a Federation citizen. By 2399, he had been named executive director of the Borg Reclamation Project based at the artifact, a Borg cube controlled by the Romulan Free State. While serving the project, Hugh became disturbed by the dismissive treatment of his fellow XBs after they were severed from the collective. Number 7. Jean-Luc Picard arrived at the artifact sometime later looking for Soji, meeting Hugh again for the first time in nearly 30 years. Hugh showed Picard the facilities in which he helped the XBs attempt to reclaim their lives after the removal of their implants, believing that as an XB himself, Picard would be an advocate for better treatment for former Borg. Number 8. Hugh knew that a Romulan spy, Narek, had arrived at the artifact 2 weeks before Picard, trying to find out about Soji, and offered Picard his help without hesitation. When Soji's android abilities were activated, and she fled from Narek and the Vash, Hugh took Picard and Soji into an old cube queen cell and used his spatial trajector to teleport them to Nepenthe, while Picard's sworn protector, a young Romulan named Elnor, remained behind with Hugh to cover their escape. Number 9. Hugh was interrogated by Narek's sister Narissa, who coldly had the XBs executed when he refused to give up Picard's location. She only refrained from killing Hugh himself because of the treaty with the Federation. Hugh felt that if he had failed the XBs, and ultimately decided to deny the Romulans the cube by activating the Queen Cell. However, as this was a treaty violation as well as an act of insurrection, Narissa now felt justified in killing him, and mortally wounded him with a knife thrown into his neck. Number 10. Before he died, Hugh told Elnor that he needed an XB to activate the Queen Cell, and thanked him for letting him briefly be a hopeful fool again. I do hope you enjoyed the video. What did you think of Hugh? I really wish they wouldn't have killed him off in the Picard series, since I really like the character. Anyways, if you like this video, please subscribe and like this video, as it does really help out the channel. Take care, and have a great day.